Hi everybody, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, and this is Answering Questions episode. Got one question today, so let's actually get right to it, shall we? Alright, Brenda from Morris, New York. I want to know, which T-Rex from documentary series do you like? Walking with Dinosaurs, Dinosaur Revolution, or Jurassic Fight Club? Well, let's actually go through some of these Tyrannosaurus Rexes based on accuracy and their inaccuracies. Let's actually start off with basically the most recent documentary series is basically Dinosaur Revolution. Dinosaur Revolution basically came out around 2011, and basically it was supposed to be sort of like this different type of dinosaur documentary series, where basically you get to see dinosaurs in a whole different way than what we were used to. And basically the T-Rex in the Tyrannosaurus Rex in Dinosaur Revolution, I would say that in terms of accuracies, it's got the size, it actually has the behavior, the most recent behavior is basically correct. And basically pretty much probably living with a mate. Some of them that are solo can be actually very aggressive and all that. The inaccuracies would actually be that it's still reptilian, so basically it still has that reptilian type of look. And basically the inaccuracy there is basically because it shows scales and scutes all over its body, and basically that's not really kind of what the accuracy is for Tyrannosaurus Rex right now, considering that Tyrannosaurus Rex right now we actually consider to actually have some type of feathers on its body, basically from the top of the basically the base of the head all the way down to the base of the tail. But even though the belly would have probably had some scales, and the underside of the tail would actually have some scales as well, and the legs would have probably had some scales, but basically they're not scales like we would think of, kind of like what reptiles have. It would have probably been more kind of almost like bird-like skin. But even though with dinosaurs do share a reptilian type of lineage, it's just basically that they're kind of actually moving towards what the bird lineage would actually be. Excuse me. And so let's actually take a look at Jurassic Fight Club. Jurassic Fight Club, that one is actually probably, in terms of the three shows that you mentioned, it's probably the most accurate out of all of them, and considering that it actually shows the massive size, it shows the musculature, it's got basically everything you want in terms of what you want a Tyrannosaurus Rex to look like. But even though this show came out in 2007, so basically this is actually a show that is sort of dated, but also has some fiction into it though too. So basically there is some science involved in this, but even though it's a little bit more on the fiction type of side, in terms of basically trying to make a story and basically using prehistoric animals of basically if they ever come in contact with one another in their environment, basically we have to find out what kind of happens, what would happen, you know. But you see, the inaccuracies of this Tyrannosaurus Rex is basically still has that reptilian type of look, and also the male and female are very different. They're actually the same size, and so this is actually a little bit of an issue for me. Is basically we don't know if Tyrannosaurus Rex, but we don't know if males and females were actually the same size. Even though paleontologists have speculated that the females are probably a little bit larger than the males, and so that actually could make some sense there. So I would have made the female a little bit bigger, and also that the male and female are the same color pattern. And basically I don't agree with that, because basically that shows that you would think that the males and females look a lot alike, and basically the difference is only in size. I would actually say that the males would have still been more brightly colored. If you just add a little bit more feathers into it, and basically give the male some bright colors, and then basically you actually got yourself a pretty accurate male Tyrannosaurus Rex. The females would still be dull in color, but even though that would actually still be pretty actually good enough for me. And considering that we don't see a lot of birds with the stripe pattern, that is actually kind of strange. But even though reptiles do show some stripes in their like color patterns, but even though that's just all speculation. And so that actually, and also when they give the information, some of that information is really dated. Like say the bite force of a Tyrannosaurus Rex is 3,000 pounds per square inch. That's based on one tooth. That's based on one tooth. If one tooth of a Tyrannosaurus Rex basically bit down on you, it's 3,000 pounds of force. But even though if you actually count the whole jaw, basically you actually have a Tyrannosaurus Rex probably having a bite force between 6,000 pounds and 12,500 pounds per square inch. That is unbelievable, and basically that is the strongest in the animal kingdom in all of Earth's history, and basically that's just kind of pretty cool. And now with the Walking with Dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus Rex, it was accurate for its time, and basically it actually gave you that sense of what Tyrannosaurus Rex's environment would have been like in the late Cretaceous, very at the end of the Cretaceous, and basically how it would have behaved and all that sorts of stuff. Information is very dated in this one, and basically there's a lot of inaccuracies in this, considering that now we consider the 1999 Walking with Dinosaurs series is pretty dated, and also the information is not as accurate, and so that kind of actually plays into fact there. And so the basically inaccuracies of Tyrannosaurus Rex in that one, basically still reptilian, but even though at the time we still thought that all dinosaurs had scaly skin, and very few of them have feathers, and so that actually kind of is thrown out the window right now, of basically that probably most theropod dinosaurs did have feathers, and basically the large herbivorous dinosaurs like the sauropods probably didn't have feathers. The ceratopsians probably had like quill-like structures, and I don't know what the hadrosaurs would have been. I think so far the evidence shows that the hadrosaurs still had the reptilian-like skin, so basically we still don't know for certain if hadrosaurs did have feathers, and so on and so forth. And basically that, and also they got the size ranges of Tyrannosaurus Rex all right. It's just that the body shape is actually kind of accurate for its time, but even though I still question basically how skinny they made this Tyrannosaurus Rex. And so this Tyrannosaurus Rex is kind of skinny, didn't show a lot of musculature, where basically today we actually do see Tyrannosaurus Rexes shown with a lot of musculature. So basically that kind of shows that the advancements of basically what we know about muscle attachments and how big the muscles were in certain prehistoric animals has actually developed a little bit more, and actually has made it a little bit more accurate. But in terms of the three shows that I actually have seen, and because I've seen both of these series, and basically I would actually say in terms of accuracies, I liked the Jurassic Fight Club one a little bit more, considering that it's actually a tad bit more accurate than the others. But even though it's actually still has its inaccuracies. But you see, if I actually had to pick my favorite Tyrannosaurus Rex out of any documentary series, out of any dinosaur documentary, I would actually say I would actually go with the most recent dinosaur documentary. Is basically from National Geographic. National Geographic actually had like 3 shows, 3 new shows that came out last year, and I thought they were really, really good. It's just that one was actually a little bit one-sided in terms of basically the debate of whether Nanotyrannus is its own species or just a juvenile Tyrannosaurus Rex. But anyway, I liked the Tyrannosaurus Rex in the Ultimate Dino Survivor Show, and that one is actually a bit accurate to me because basically it shows the feathers on the base of the head all the way down to the tail type of regions. Base of the tail type of regions. It actually has a color pattern that kind of suits really well with me and all that sorts of stuff. But even though we still don't know what the colors are for Tyrannosaurus Rex totally yet, it's just that we still need more evidence to actually support this. And basically the musculature is pretty accurate, and also basically how it might have behaved is actually pretty accurate. And so I like that one. And if any of you have never seen that show, that one is actually with Dr. Phil Manning. He actually, because if you've seen his other National Geographic series called Jurassic CSI, you would actually have known about this guy. He's actually kind of a different breed of paleontologist. He actually uses methods that like old school paleontologists would actually consider to be kind of actually like outlandish, kind of too much outside of the box type of ideas. But even though that, I think that's what paleontology needs, is basically you need to start thinking outside the box a little bit more to actually understand what dinosaurs are probably like, and also what prehistoric life was actually like. And so I liked his theories. I loved Jurassic CSI. I thought that was a really good show. I thought that basically Dr. Phil Manning did a really nice job of basically showing his work and basically giving us a pretty good demonstration of things in real life that we can actually use in terms of dinosaurs. And basically what he did, and basically Ultimate Dino Survivor is basically about that, how the dinosaur, what Tyrannosaurus Rex and Gorgosaurus's immune system and also its healing process actually functions. And so that actually is really, really cool. I love that show a lot more than the other two that actually came out last year. I mean, T-Rex Autopsy was actually pretty good, but even though some people say it's way too gruesome, it's kind of actually a little too gory in terms of basically like trying to dig inside of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. But even though you gotta realize it's all fake. We didn't really go back in time and actually try to like bring back a T-Rex that found the body of a Tyrannosaurus Rex around 66 million years ago and basically just brought it back, because basically we still don't know how that works basically, and also we can't travel through time totally yet. We can't even go back in time totally yet. And so I mean, hopefully that can happen in the future, but even though it's still going to be a long time. And so yeah, if I had to rank my favorite dinosaur documentaries in terms of like top 5, I would actually go with basically number one, in my opinion, would actually be Walking with Dinosaurs. But even though in terms of T-Rexes, I would actually go with Ultimate Dino Survivor. Then it'd be Jurassic Fight Club, excuse me. Then it'd be Walking with Dinosaurs, Dinosaur Revolution, and I actually have a tie for 5th is basically When Dinosaurs Roamed America, and oh man, I keep forgetting it, but I would actually say probably oh man, it just escaped me now. I mean, I would put When Dinosaurs Roamed America right there at number 5 in terms of Tyrannosaurus Rexes, but even though that's still a really good show in my opinion. Alright, that's it for now, and next week will actually be a special episode, so if you want if you have a dinosaur or any other prehistoric animal that you want me to talk about, feel free to email it to me at dinocris71@gmail.com, or otherwise go on the Facebook page. I have links of like list of dinosaur names and prehistoric mammal names, etc., that you actually can look up and actually tell me which ones you want me to talk about. And actually look for ones that I haven't done yet, and actually if you go on my if you're on my YouTube page, make sure to look at like I have basically channels of the episodes that I actually have. I have questions and answers one, I have a special episodes one, and also I have an extra episodes one. So basically look in the special episodes one and see which ones I haven't done yet, and basically you can actually see that which ones I haven't done yet, and basically they'll actually be pretty cool to actually get to do some dinosaurs or any other kind of vertebrate animal that I actually like to do. Mainly vertebrates. That's all I want to talk. That's basically my specialty. And also, you can still send me questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life. Feel free to email me at dinocris71@gmail.com, or otherwise go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, you can actually post your questions in the comment section on any Facebook post. But remember, keep your questions short and to the point. And also, you can actually follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL. That's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there. And also, take care of the people around you. And also, for younger people out there, make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. Those are the best motivation you can have for a good education. It's very important to have a good education, because with a good education, you get a good job in the future. And maybe sometime this coming week, I would probably do an extra episode on basically the minerals and fossils that I actually have gotten in the Rock and Gem show, and basically I can actually give a little demonstration, basically give you some information about them. All right, that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next week.